Good morning children, this is A. Manoj Kumar working in Oxford High School, Uppugunduru. We have been discussing about climate of India. Last session what I explained you regarding greenhouse effect I explained you. Definition is very important. Again I written greenhouse effect definition. Last class itself I explained you. The atmosphere traps a lot of solar energy that reaches earth by preventing it from totally escaping back into space. This is called greenhouse effect. Okay, now this is called greenhouse effect. So here atmosphere is trapping the solar energy that reaches the earth. If it totally escaping back to the space, what happens? Then earth will become very cold. Then atmosphere traps the solar energy so that life is possible on the earth. Okay na? If the solar energy levels that reaches the earth, if continuously increasing, what happens? Then the temperatures will increase. That is also a bad effect. Okay na? So how it is trapping the solar energy? Yes, due to the gravitational pull. Last class I explained you. In this session I am going to explain about anthropogenic global warming. Sir, what is anthropogenic global warming, sir? Anthropogenic global warming means human made global warming. Due to the human effects, due to the human works, then what is happening at present? Okay, global warming is increasing. That means human beings causes the global warming. They are the main cause for global warming. How, sir? How they are the creators? That means causes global warming, sir. Such a question arises. So whenever population has been increasing, then what happens? They clear the forest area. Deforestation takes place due to the industrialization, due to the urbanization, due to the population. Then what happened? Then deforestation took place everywhere. It creates negative effects. These industries are creating, that means releasing poisonous gases. These poisonous gases mixing with atmosphere, mixing with air, then lot of troubles it is creating, isn't it or not? Due to the urbanization, in urban area they cleared the trees, they cutted the trees, then environmental imbalance took place, isn't it or not? Tell me. So here ACW and climate change, anthropogenic global warming and climate change. ACW is causing many changes in the distribution of heat in the earth system, isn't it or not? Earth traps the solar rays so that temperatures are presenting on the earth due to the gravitational pull. Just now I told you. Okay na? Suppose due to the human beings activities, deforestation took place continuously, then it traps the heat. If heat day by day increases, what happens? It becomes a fireball, isn't it or not? Earth becomes a fireball. We are unable to survive on the earth later point of time. Remember that one. Okay. ACW is causing many changes in the distribution of heat in the earth system. ACW disturbs the system and the redistribution system. Totally it disturbs the cycle of the atmosphere. Okay na? We have one certain cycle. Evaporation, transportation, that cycle also 9th class itself I explained you. Okay na? Condensation, precipitation, like that we have runoff. We have one cycle. It anthropogenic global warming disrupt that cycle, isn't it or not? So when the redistribution system is disrupted, weather and climate patterns change. Surely weather and climate changes happens. Long term changes, that is climate changes, short term changes, that is weather changes, surely occurs. That only I written here. An international effort to form an agreement whereby all countries try to reduce their emissions of greenhouse gases has so far not been achieved. So afterwards, then globally, they wanted to conduct one meeting, one conference Then regarding that, they have to take one decision like that they thought. Okay, na? So they conducted one conference, but finally conference not taken any kind of agreement. So not signed on any kind of agreement. That means that is not succeeded. Okay, na? So some countries are opposing, some countries are positive on that matter. So regarding that clear-cut information I will give, don't worry. So international effort is very important. That to be constructive effort is important. Combining effort is important. All the countries so should came together. Already they are watching the imbalance on the earth. They are watching the impacts regarding that. Isn't it or not? So catastrophic changes are occurring. Catastrophic changes in the sense, so unexpected changes are occurring in the atmosphere, in the weather, in the climate. We are not able to find how climate is, how weather is, isn't it or not? Such a changes are occurring. Globally, main personalities, important personalities are observing, but they are unable to take the decision regarding that, even though they made conference. Isn't it or not? Then see, an international organization called Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. They wanted to solve this issue. That's why they formed one organization, that is IPCC. What is the abbreviation of IPCC? Inter-Panel on Climate Change. Okay, IPCC means Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. So, very important examination point of view. Once again I am saying IPCC means Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Okay na? So you should remember this IPCC abbreviation. An international organization called Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change was formed to address this issue. Which issue? AGW issue. That is the big issue right now. Anthropogenic global warming issue. It has held many conferences to work out a treaty among the nations on the world to reduce AGW. Many conferences happened. That means many conferences held in many places, but they are unable to make any kind of agreement. These conferences not succeeded to make one proper agreement. Do you understand? So that's what I am saying here. AGW and try to slow down the progress of climate change. None of these have been successful. So none of the conference not has been taken any kind of agreement. Okay, so why conferences not succeeded then to make one agreement, proper agreement? So here the big issue is so developing countries are arguing something, developed countries are arguing something. What they are argument, I will say. Okay, this has also failed to achieve an agreement. The disagreements are between the developed countries. Developed countries in the sense West countries, especially industrialized countries, European countries and America. These countries comes under West countries. Those are all developed countries. Then another side is developing countries, rest of the world. Then Asian, African countries, those are all comes under developing countries. Developed countries want developing countries to cut down their fossil fuels, mainly coal. So you people are excessively using the coal. These coal then creating the gas. That means emissions. So it creating the disturbance to environment. Like that their argument. Whose argument? Developed countries. Developed countries argue that to cut short the use of coal. Okay na? Who should cut short the use of coal? Developing countries should cut short the use of excessive coal. Who argued that? Developed countries argue like that. But in vice versa, developing countries argue that already developed countries developed well. They used precisely these fossil fuels, especially coal. So they developed well. But our point of view, we are using at present only. In these decades, so in these years we are using excessively. Our development so surely depend upon by the usage of this coal. If you find the alternatives, then surely we will follow that alternatives, then that time only our progress so will be seen. People seen the progress of our countries, otherwise then our development surely go back, like that their argument. So here for everybody clear cut information I given, understood I think so. So once again I will read out. Developed countries want developing countries to cut down on burning coal and other activities that add greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. So clearly, for example, America saying, India, you people should cut down by the usage of fossil fuels like coal. So it is adding the additional emissions to greenhouse gases. Okay na? Add atmosphere, sorry, atmosphere, additional gases to atmosphere. It is dangerous, like that they are saying. With example I given. Okay na? So I explained you. Developing countries argue that developed countries developed precisely by burning fossil fuels in their development. Okay na? So we are saying now these European countries developed, America is developed. Why these countries developed? By using these fossil fuels, mainly coal. By that time only they develop their development. Then so happened. Otherwise development not happened to them. So developing countries say that their economic development will be seriously damaged if they didn't burn fossil fuels, mainly coal, and that developed countries should do their fair share of work to help find alternatives that can help the developing countries to progress. Don't confuse. Okay na? So it is necessary for us to use fossil fuels. Who are saying? Developing countries saying, please find the alternatives to us. Then we will follow those alternatives. By that time only our progress will be happen. Okay na? Otherwise it is not possible to develop ourselves. Like that they are saying, developing countries saying. Okay na? Arguments are happening. That's why they are unable to make any kind of agreement. So many conferences held in many places up to now. So none of the conference was succeeded. Do you understand? Okay na? Examination point of view, this question is very important. That's why I am again and again stressing. Okay na? Then next, most scientists from around the world agree on this much. So they know regarding that AGW is real. What the scientists are saying, AGW is real, it is happening. Okay na? And it is leading to rapid and drastic climatic changes. Surely catastrophic changes will occur. Who are saying? Scientists around the globe, they are saying like that. AGW is real. It is happening now all over the world. Who are saying? Scientists. They warn that severe weather and other changes will increase in the coming years and threaten human life. Then human life in danger, animal life in danger. So they are saying like that if we release excessively these emissions, adding these emissions to atmosphere, then so unexpected changes will occur. So the mainly greenhouse effect causing by the deforestation, they are saying like that. Okay, so this is all about AGW, anthropogenic global warming. Okay, so the disagreements between developing countries and developed countries, what like that question is framing. Okay, now very important. Once again, in your textbook you try to read. Okay, now developing countries argue that developed countries precisely developed by using fossil fuels, mainly coal. If we are not use these fossil fuels, our economic development go back. We are not able to develop. So you show the alternatives for our development. We will follow. We will surely then increase our economy. That is the argument of developing countries. Developed countries arguing. So nowadays developing countries creating these emissions, that means releasing more emissions. That's why, especially by using the coal, they are releasing emissions. That's why AGW, global warming, is increasing. That is their argument. Such a way arguments are happening. Finally, what scientists are saying, then AGW is real happening. We have to shortcut these emissions, otherwise human beings may suffer. Then greenhouse effect is mainly deforestation, like that they are saying. Okay, na? Thank you.